It's definitely an interesting idea that hasn't been seen a lot, so that's nice. It's something kind of completely new, and we definitely need that in cinema, because there's not, you know, there's not a lot of new things happening. There's a lot of trends and bandwagons, and, you know, everyone sort of gets on the money train, you know, oh, it's going to work, what's going to sell, whatever. So this is very interesting in that way, that it doesn't have a lot of big movie stars. It doesn't have tons of special effects or anything, you know, but it's very smartly written. And I feel that with Joseph, and it's like we listen, we all can talk, everybody can be very open, nobody feels left out, nobody feels like they're not being understood, you know, and that's rare, I think. I really think that's rare, so I'm happy that it worked out that way. Well, without explaining too much of the story, I mean, the way she comes in, and you don't really know, like, if she's good or bad or where she's really coming from, and I think that's what attracted me to her, is that you sort of, you know, is she vulnerable? How strong is she? She's acting strong, and so all those kind of layers that you have to figure out, because almost every scene has like so much happening within it and so many emotions, and that's the challenge, is to try to get it all in there, you know, and to sort of not do it too heavily, you know. I think what attracted me was, first of all, when I read the script, and I had to read it a couple times to sort of figure out what was going on, and it was just so clever, and I hadn't read anything like that ever, actually, because, I mean, I haven't been in this business that long, but it's the kind of thing I was looking for, as far as just a character with some mystery, and who was sort of a real woman, and you weren't really sure where she was coming from. It kind of reminded me of some of those older, like, Hitchcock films and things like that. So I don't know, that in a way I'm sort of lying, not being honest with him, and yet falling in love with him. So I think that's kind of where Jane's coming from. I mean, you're looking across the table into this person's eyes, and you're falling in love with them, and at the same time there's this secret, and you can't tell them, you know. And so it's kind of, I'm glad we ended it in that dance, because that's the way the whole scene is, really. I mean, it's sort of we're sort of playing back and forth, and it's all about what's not being said, you know. I mean, it's sort of, we were talking about the idea of like a perfect world, and whether or not that can really ever exist, and especially if that can exist because, you know, can you actually get a perfect world by messing with a whole other world? You know what I mean? It's like playing God, you know? It's like, how do you come to that conclusion? I don't know.
And should you be the one?
Yeah, exactly. How can you enjoy this? It's almost like there's too much of a pedestal to put yourself on, almost. Like, how can you be up there and enjoy this perfect thing while you're, you know, messing and playing with all these other elements, you know, that are also human?